G'day and welcome back to the last harvest of the season, just before our temple is done here in Hutan Pantai. I've been a little busy off camera placing 5 new productions down that we'll get stuck into today very quickly before jumping into the next month and getting the next month's harvest started. So first of all, I've done as much as possible in setting up stuff off camera, as this is not the first time I've done this, for the fact that the first time my cooler failed on my PC, so the recording just corrupted. Second time tried to do it on my gaming PC, and the audio just wasn't up to scratch. So here we are again. This is lucky number 3, hopefully. I want to tell you to go roughly about there, because we need to take this water to the universal crusher production and the fuel briquette, as well as the fuel briquette production, allowing any type of oil in-game or modded to be taken in with its conversion rate in the XML file. So I've added the grapeseed oil from the grape production pack in with this to allow it to be taken with a nice conversion rate of about 1.2. So let him on its way, get this on started up, and with the barley and the corn for the whiskey production. So let's get him down to the new farm, because we're always struggling for space. And while this one is driving down there with the barley and corn, we need to bring him back for a second load for some wheat for the fuel briquette, as well as some sugarcane that we'll need to buy to make rye in the whiskey production. So we'll just jump down to the toy workshop, another one we've got out of the 5, to get this tree that I've just planted very quickly, not the way I normally do this at all, just for the fact that I've done this multiple times. It's end of the season and I'm really keen to get stuck into the new map, Settlers by Setka Simulators. So I'm really wanting to get this done ASAP. So let's see if I can get the second one aimed nicely and get taken into the refined wood chips, which will do the fuel briquettes. Oh, and before I forget, my memory, that's why I have this lumberjack mod. My OCD and memory always forgets about those, and I missed it by that much. So while those tractors are on their way down, let's go to the wooden toy shop. Makes wood into carvings with wood chips. Let's turn that one on. This one takes planks, don't have any of that. And this one takes the wood, makes toys and some wood chips. So we'll turn that on, make sure the wood chips are distributing, for the fact that the refined wood chips production that we just dumped that tree into makes wood chips and the premium sawdust that we overall want it to make. It also turns that wood chips that has a brilliant setting from this map for the temple. We always need that sawmill and it will always produce wood chips. I was using the bioplastics factory, but it's really kind of cheaty in my opinion. The money you get from it is way too much. So this one makes refined wood chips and that number 1 premium sawdust. So we'll turn that one on, make sure all of those are on keep for the time being until we can actually dump the stuff in ourselves. So the premium sawdust gets made from that refined wood chips. So overall, we want the premium stuff that will then go into the fuel production to get kick-started using a little bit of diesel and some of all this to then start using the briquettes for the future. So we'll turn this one on, as I won't bother delivering a few liters of diesel. We'll get the distribution from my fuel production from corn to actually distribute just a little bit over to get this on started, and it uses just a slightly more with the converted oil from the game. Any oil will be taken in this. So that is absolutely all set up and going. We've also got a pickle production, so it will take some chili peppers, some lettuce, some tomatoes, but mainly I want it to take these olives, so it will have a bit more production wise. Instead of the grape production, this can be the olive side of it. This is why I'm trying to do as many productions as possible. So once they've all been set up, we can probably get this one, as he's kind of stuck on the road, get this one out of the way. And then we'll make sure the other worker is where it needs to be. On its way. Okay, he must be going the long way around. He's going to make it either way. That's fine by me. We just need to get some water in the fuel briquette production, as well as this oil, and some water in the universal crusher, just behind the factory. You might even be able to see it from here, just over there near the sun on the top right. So we'll see if we can dump that over there, and we'll dump, say, half of this water in here. You kind of have to jiggle it every now and then. The trigger is very outside instead of what it says in there, so it's perfectly fine. Get that about to there. Make sure all of this is in here nicely. It has a nice conversion rate of about 1,000 litres to about 1,200 in that production. I might reduce it because the grapeseed oil is actually technically a byproduct of the grape production packs, so I might bring that number down for the conversion rate in its XML. But this is why I'm doing this, trying to make it fair, trying to make it more realistic in preparation for that new map, Settlers. And the whole reason why I place productions off screen is for the fact that I want to make sure I'm able to get the stuff out of it as well as put all the stuff in. So we'll just dump the rest of that water in there, and we'll jump in this conveyor, which should be able to take enough of the stones. I might even try and bring it back. No, I can't even bring it back any more than that. So that should be somewhat okay, unless I can maybe bring it out a little bit. It might take more on one side of this bunker. The same method as I'm using to fill up the concrete factory, which we don't really need to use anymore. So he should be okay with that. Let's not jump in that. Let's go in the tractor. I need to install that mod where you enter the vehicle on the one you're looking at. So the water is all in that. Let's get that universal crusher on now before I forget. So that's all on. It makes copper ore, gold ore, iron ore, all that sorts of stuff. Different types of productions, different types of things. But overall, you want the quartz sand, you want the copper ore, and the gold ore mainly. You do also need to make the sand for this one to make that quartz sand. I'm not going to distribute them yet, as I want to use the 2 trailers to come and pick all of this up. But for the time being, we need to go and get one of the other productions going for the whiskey to make a few barrels. So what I might do is just quickly go here, pop on over to the sawmill, spawn just a couple of them, and we can just kind of snag these on here like that. For the time being, drop them over to a backyard production mod, and that's for the fact that I just wanted something small to be able to make some barrels for that whiskey production. So that's exactly what this does. It's pretty fair, actually. Let's just quickly pop into it. There we go. So it makes some barrels into long planks. Distributing those wood chips, don't need to make any of those, as we don't really need to make planks or these buckets. So before we distribute it, we'll make sure we take some of it over. But first, I need to get to the other tractor and dump all this out into the whiskey production. And the building next to it, it looks like a dairy, but it's not. That's actually the silicon production from the universal crusher that will turn those ores into the bricks and things like that, like gold and all those sorts of things, copper. So we'll get this dumped in here. Doesn't look like it has a big trigger, so we'll have to do that one by one. It'll take all of this, and then we'll dump the other one and activate it while it's dumping the second. Excellent. Look at that tire depression. That is so well done. It really is. And we'll dump that one. So let's go into the whiskey production all the way down the bottom. And we'll take some sugarcane that we'll need to buy, and it will turn it into rum. But this takes corn, barley, and some barrels, turns it into whiskey. So we'll get that ongoing. We just need to bring a few barrels over, but we'll get this guy going back to the silo to pick up some sugarcane and some other things to get more things going. So it was sugarcane and the wheat that we needed to grab. So we'll just send this one over here so we're able to turn around at the silo, and he shouldn't have any issues getting there, at least saving us a bit of time. And in the meantime, let's go over to the new pickle production. Here it is here. Quite a brilliant building, actually. It's very well done. I am very struggling for space, and this was brand new, so I haven't exactly tested how much or what it actually does, if it's even going to take... Oh, okay, yep. Well, that answers that question. It takes pallets very nicely. Let's just slide that down that way. And then we can just push this and this one in there. Awesome. So we can go into the production. Around the corner and in here. It'll take chili peppers into pickled chili peppers. Same thing for lettuce. And same thing for tomato, all 1 and 1, and that should be a-okay. The greenhouses should then distribute anything over to this production, and I'm pretty excited to get these olives, at least something else going and done for the olives. There's really not enough productions for olives themselves, and that's down near the specialized bakery and the specialized pizzeria next to the ice cream factory just there. So we needed to get into... That guy's almost there. Awesome. Let's turn that off. And let's get the sugarcane in the rear trailer. I think that will make it the easiest. So sugarcane in the rear trailer. So let's just turn it around here, and I can just buy some from this mod here. Sugarcane. Wonder how much that will actually be. Even if we took 10 grand or something like that out for this whole thing, it would not really matter. 3.5 almost. I don't know if that's actually fair or not. It probably is, to be honest. You get a very high yield out of sugarcane. And what I might do is just take a bit of wheat to be taken into that fuel production. So probably about like 10 or something. Just get 9. That's fine. So we'll get this one driven down to the whiskey production again. Get that one dumped out first, as we won't need these trailers. They're both hired. Good, good. And then we can probably skip a bit of time. And get these barrels over there. So let's just skip, say, just shy of the hour. And we can spawn some of these barrels. Don't need many of them. I just want to start the production up. Turn the engine on, Sharpie. That generally helps. And then we can just slide over here and load. Or maybe not. Item too large for this vehicle. Are you sure? I just loaded... Oh, I did not use the auto load for that one. There we go. So now that's on. We can drive this over to the whiskey production and meet the truck over there. This rice on the right is looking good. Same with the potatoes. Hopefully for next harvest month. We'll get these barrels in here nice and quick. Just unstrap that. Taken. Excellent. Now that won't have any problems with that. I'm pretty sure we have all the stuff we need for this trailer to then drop it off and return it back to the shop because it was leased. So let's return. Let's hold off because the month isn't done yet. Turn that engine off and we'll jump into the other tractor and dump the sugarcane here to make that rye. And we'll bring that wheat over to the fuel briquette. So while these are dumping, I'll get the Cooper to distribute since we know all that works and that is a-okay. Let's get in here. About a little bit further forward. There we go. Let's go into the backyard Cooper and get these barrels onto distributing and any wood chips distributing as well. So we're constantly making more and more. So have a lot of things that can take. So I think I might even turn that off. It's almost full and we have other stuff to be taken with that wood chips now. So much better. Much better. So let's get that one going. I might even go around here. I can probably dump that last one and return that as that is no longer needed for now. Thank you. Get these quickly over to that fuel briquette and get that on going. And explain just quickly how that production works. Get that universal crusher. Oh, I didn't want to dump that last trailer. I wanted to keep it so I could take more ore back over to the silicon thing. But I guess testing one will prove the rest of them will work. So that should be fine. Go, just reverse this on in. And we'll get that on right there. Awesome sauce. So let's just quickly explain how that one works. So the refined wood chips, overall, it turns the wood that we dumped into it into the premium sawdust we overall want. It produces some wood chips, will then get refined and get turned into more premium sawdust. So that premium sawdust eventually works its way all the way over here to the fuel briquette to make the briquettes using a bit of diesel to start it up, then onto a bit more of everything using them briquettes instead of that fuel that I'm currently using for the coffee roaster right here. That doesn't use too much. So we'll go here. That's already on. The premium sawdust is on as well as that. So that should be a-okay for that one. I need to then spawn some stuff, move it into its respective thing. So let's get just some of that premium sawdust and some of the refined. So let's take the refined over to here. Thank you. And this one over to the fuel briquette. Like so. As well as spawning some more premium sawdust from this one to prove that that one works. Premium sawdust. And then we'll bring this all the way in there. Fantastic. So that works a-okay as well. So we'll get the premium sawdust to distribute. The rest of them need to that one, and the wood chips need to stay because it uses the wood chips to make these two. So that one there is fine. This one we need to distribute those premium sawdust, which will then bring it over to here. So we now need to get just a smidgen of diesel, which we already have. We should have made some already. So I might just skip a little bit of time, just like so, just so we can turn that off and then turn that one on. So it's going to use a little bit of everything else, but it's going to use the briquettes instead of that diesel that I need for the coffee roaster. So now I wanted to quickly test before jumping into next month and harvesting more stuffs. Oh, we need to sell some stuff before that. Is the universal crusher to make sure that at least something can be taken out and dumped into that silicon processing factory. Let's go for something good. Gold or, yeah, just 12 liters. That proves a point to me. Kind of interested to use this as a long-term investment, possibly in the next series. But we'll quickly go and jam this into that silicon production. And this time I might even go first person. Now I'm pretty sure this is where it needs to go. It does. It is. Excellent. Let's get that in there. Let's go down to the silicon LTD. 100 to 20. 1,000 to 1. And 10 to 80. So that actually works out rather well. Let's go down to the universal crusher and we'll get this stuff over to where it needs to go. We're not making any iron ore. If I go back, that's what this one is. But if I activate any more of the productions, it will slow them all down anyways. So we'll get back into here. The copper ore we'd like to distribute. The gold ore we'd like to distribute. And the quartz sand with the wood chips, as it makes all of that. Oh, pressed the wrong one. Distributing that one. Excellent. Wood chip production just turns that wood into wood chips. So we don't even really need to use that unless we're struggling for wood chips itself. But that should be okay by me. I might even turn this off for now overnight just to allow it to kind of kick in, and we'll start that up properly in the next month. Dump that out as we don't need it anymore. Return. And the Bailey Bowser we no longer need either. Excellent. So let's have a quick look at all that. All of this should be the new stuff that should kick on soon. Liquid manure, that can run out. Tailor shop fabric, dairy milks, that we definitely need to do. We can't let the dairy run out, otherwise the salad factory and all of the above can be bad. So what might be a good idea is if we get this one to drive up while we get that stuff sold very quickly. Let's just go there. While we go into the monster, and let's get this down to the farmer's market with this long train. Nice and slow. We don't want to flip. But yeah, we've got a bit of a train just here. Lots of stuff. Lots and lots and lots of stuff. So we'll drive this down to the farmer's market pronto, and hopefully we won't get stuck on anything, as this is the second time I've used 3 trailers. But the first time I didn't have this tractor upgraded as fully as it is now. Let's go first person. Those trailers are really loud. I think, I don't know if I'll hit the trigger if I turn right. So yeah, I think we're going to have to do it this way. Alright, move it up a little bit forward. I want to try and get it all in one go. No, didn't think so. There's 134 plus 60. Okay, let's see if I can kind of hug this wall. 62. Now hopefully that last trailer won't get stuck on either something on the inside or that lamp post there while we're just wall climbing. Oh, I think we're good. Another 56. Excellent. All of it. Oh, we're hitting the soup sign. Let's get out of the way of that. We're a little too tall. It's a big tractor. Excellent. Finally. So I'm going to get this on back and the stuff into the dairy cows to get some more mozzarella and milk and all that sorts of stuff so we can keep our salad and bakeries up and running. But I will see you in a hot second for the start of next harvest season. Super excited. Finally, it's time to get into the next month, but first I want to double check that any of our rice fields shouldn't need any water, as I'm pretty sure last season or last month was the last time we should have needed to water any of these. So no flooding needed on that one. Absolutely fantastic. Excuse me. And none on the short grain. So neither the long grain nor the short grain need any watering from now on. Absolutely fantastic. I love that part of the season. So we've got two more fields after what you saw there of the rice. But let's skip on into 8 o'clock as I just finished kind of settling the production, see how they kind of run very quickly over the last 10-15 minutes off camera just before cutting out and stuff like that. But yeah, so we've got the spinnery finally is out. The cotton will be done very, very shortly in the next few months, and they should be okay. We should get all of the crops that we need harvested ongoing. So first of all, let's get the carrots in with this one, and it's right next to us. That's why I say this one, nice and quick. Here we go. Make sure it registers the correct one. Excellent. What's the next one? We have no green beans on the map. Oats we did last month. Parsnips, potatoes, red beet. All three of those will need to be used by this exact machine, so we'll just need to wait, or we may need to even hire another one. May even be an idea. But we've got short grain rice and some sorghum, so let's get in our own harvester all the way up here, and I'm pretty sure it's even still got some oats in it. So we're going to need to bring a trailer down. So let's go up here and grab a trailer of sorts. Which one has got the trailer? All the way on the end. So let's just get this one to drive down there, empty out the oats as we were looking at the sorghum field when in the harvester. So you just need to go all the way down here. And there he goes. Awesome. So we might as well, in the meantime, hire up some more harvesters, just doubling up and speeding things up on exactly what we have already. So we've got the 2x capacity, the 1-up engine, we have that back, and no camouflage, no. The crawler track, standard design, window tint medium, rotate black, and the long pipe. That should be exactly the same apart from the camouflage because we're leasing it. Anything I lease, I don't actually do that one. So I'm going to get the... I might actually do it this way just to get the rice done faster. Nothing done on the width or anything else, just as is, just to allow me to harvest that rice much, much faster. So let's duck down to the show, and we will definitely need to hook it up to the back of it. we go. Get this on turned into it. Get this on over to the short grain rice, as we can normally use a harvester for long grain rice anyways. I don't exactly see this as fully cheaty, especially when you have so much rice. But obviously this is always done so many times before base game way, before doing it this way. Let's just turn around. What we might actually do, no, I won't actually do it because we don't want the pipe out. So let's just see if we can hook this into here like so and dump it out. Not run over any of the crops, Sharpie. Let's just get this one. Excusey traffic, don't mind me. Hook that up and we'll fold that one up as well. Get that on down. And we can and should be able to get a worker on this while we can get some other stuff going. There we go, get that into the field. Should I get another one? I should get another harvester to get at least the potatoes and stuffs done. 250,000, one up, wheel and all that. I don't think it'll have twin wheels. Sure, why not? Standard beacon light. Number 2, hopefully it'll be rotate. Exhaust, yep. Lease that one. And we'll need to get the potato header specifically, unless it's got one for all of them. No. So what we might do is go just the 10 meter again, just to keep everything on flowing nicely. And we'll lease that with no camouflage. Good. He's crack-a-lackin'. Awesome. And funny enough, we actually have to go pretty much the same way where we just took the harvester and everything else. And this fog is starting to roll in, but it's not too bad at the moment. I might clear it up soon, specifically just for performance sake. There's a lot of stuff in this save game, a lot. So it could be wise. Excuse me, don't mind me. Let's just see if we can hook this over where we need him to go very quick without getting stuck. That'd be great. Yes, just wait. Excuse me. Fold it out, and I love the animation on how this machine harvests. It is absolutely one of my favorite. Pulled into the middle, funneled in. Goes all the way through down the bottom. Comes up and goes in. It's so brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So now that we've got that ongoing, I might actually do this and get rid... no. Level density 0. That one. Just to kind of clear it up, and that will definitely help with performance not having that loaded. Now, since that truck should have definitely made it. Oh, look at that. Just about perfect timing. So let's just turn that off. And I should have extended that pipe as I left the engine going. Let's just stop that there. Let's get that one so we can get the pipe out, and hopefully it won't clip on the trailer behind us too much. Get this out, get that sorghum going. Oh, no, I missed it. How about that? There we go. Put that back there, and then we can disconnect that trailer because that's the one we need to get. Can probably swing around to the right without damaging anything crop-wise. And fuel's not bad, and definitely the maintenance does not need to be topped up on any of these. So that should be a-okay. Go to first person. Oh, it's a little bit dark. Let's go back to here. Let's get that drone back out again. As Daggerman loves to say, but hey, it is definitely realistic. A lot of farmers are using drones nowadays for either field work or otherwise. That one there. Thank you so much. Get that one on going. So now we've got 4 workers on fields. So let's jump out of that and let's get into this. Bring this on back where it needs to go. Very quickly. And we can see what needs to be done. So cakes might need to be taken out shortly. Excuse me, traffic. Just please wait. There we go. We've got 2 sorghum fields, one to the left, one to the right. Pigsty needs food. Finally, cows need food, so we need to feed quite a few of the animals, as I definitely topped up that dairy to keep that going just before jumping into the next day or month. So I think this is going extremely well so far, apart from this red car. I might just slow down to... No, he'll slow down with me. Okay. I wanted to let you pass me, but no, you didn't want to. Now we'll get this dumped off in here and we'll get it on back to the sorghum field, as the capacity of those other 2 harvesters, not the rice one, but the potatoes and the carrots, should be able to sort themselves out and deliver what needs to be done where it needs to go. So we might want to get this one out of the way of traffic so he won't complain. Of course, there's always traffic. Just to go back to the sorghum field, and he can probably stop. Actually, I'll get him to... Yeah, just stop here. So that's close enough. Just to get him down there so we don't have to drive back again. So let's go into some of the workers. This was one of them that should be almost finished. He was the one we started first. Is that done? Oh, look at that. I think that's some pretty good timing right there. I might go first person. The articulation on this can be a little jolting. So it looks like we missed a little bit there. And it looks like we probably missed some down here as well. So get that one. Oh, I missed a big chunk down here. And we've got one more carrot field off to our right. There we go. I might have a 500,000 capacity on my one. I actually honestly did not know that. I completely forgot I had this at 500,000. But we'll get this into... I like taking this road. I planted these trees on the first day of the first year of the first play of this save. And there was more where that grain mill was as well. And this is going to be probably a little difficult. So if I can squeeze in here, if it's going to let me. Now I'm going to try and dump all of these into this one and the rest into the soup factory to make some of that. So we'll try and stop doing that one to not allow it to do that. No, not that. That one. And then I want the pipe in. There we go. Awesome. Then we can get this one up to the start of the carrot field up the top. And get this one finished. Nice wide turn. Get him started about here. There we go. Shouldn't hopefully have any issues with that. Good, good. All right, what else have we got? So he's on his way. The potato would not be anywhere near finished just yet. The carrots just started. The sorghum should be only 50%. Excellent. So, oh, that's because he's been doing this weird part of the field. That's fine. It's just a little slower than normal. He'll get there nice and easy. And he is finally there already. That's fantastic. I think that might be an absolute perfect time to stop right there and continue with the harvest in the next episode. So let's get into the rice. I'll finish off the edges of this rice field and we'll get this started in the next one. So make sure you stick around, like, comment, subscribe. You know that YouTube algorithm if you want to see more of this. And the new season, Settlers Map by Setka Simulators. Stay sharp till then as always. See ya.